Imagine your friend has just lost someone close to them and you know they are grieving, but you're unsure how to address it. What would you say immediately after you got the news? And what would you say after some time has passed? So, usually we don't want to say the wrong thing. And you may be afraid that if we bring it up, it could make them feel worse. So, you may decide to avoid talking about it at all. And here's the truth: avoiding the topic can actually make things harder for them in the long run. And it's a common myth that we should avoid mentioning the person who has passed away because we think it might upset the person who is grieving. And maybe it's not common in your culture to talk about the loss and you don't know if that's appropriate. In reality, if you acknowledge the loss and talk about it, it can help them heal. Grief wants to be seen, and the best thing we can do for the grieving person is acknowledge and see their pain. If you avoid it, we can leave the grieving person feeling isolated, as if their loss didn't matter. So the key is not to ignore it and not try to fix it, but just let the grief be present. So let's break it down and look at how you can talk about the loss in a way that's respectful, compassionate, and helpful. So immediately after the loss, show them you acknowledge it. And as soon as you got the news, do something, say something. You may not have the perfect words, but if you ignore it, that's the worst thing that you can do. You can say something simple like, I'm so sorry for your loss. My heart goes out to you. I'm thinking of you. And if you can offer help, be very specific about what you can do. For example, I can bring you food or help with kids. I'd be happy to have a call tonight. Would that work for you? That makes your support very practical and tangible. And second, ask for permission to talk about it. Grief doesn't end in a few days or weeks. It's a long process. And sometimes the person might not want to talk about it, and sometimes they will. And a good way to approach it is by asking your permission. You can say, I've been thinking about your sister, and I know that might be a tough subject. Would you like to talk about it now, or would you like to do so later? I would be happy to be here for you. It will show that you're mindful of the emotion, and it will give them the chance to decide how much you want to share. And if they say no, it's okay. You still have shown them respect and care, and you left the space for future conversations whenever they are ready. Another very important thing is to use the name of the person who they lost, or the name or the word they used for them, like mom, dad, or nickname, and so on. The person is still alive in their heart and they still have a name. And when we call them by name, we help keep their memories alive. That's the way we can show our acknowledgement and care, and this can be a huge gift for others. Another helpful thing is to share memory or ask for one. When your friend is ready to share, it can be really healing for them to share memory of their loved one. For example, you can say, I remember your dad used to tell that funny story of how he met your mom, and it made me laugh so much. I can't imagine how you miss them. If you don't have a personal memory, you can still contribute. For example, I remember you once told me how your brother got his first job, and I found it so inspiring. This not only honors their loved one's life, but also helps your friend feel connected to their memories. And you can also ask your friend to share their favorite memories. Like, what's one of your favorite memories of your sister? That gives them space to reflect and honor their loved one, which is a very important part of the grieving process. If you're unsure what memories to mention, you can ask, how did they make you feel when they were around? And this shifts the focus to the emotional connection and can often be very comforting to a grieving person. It's also very important to acknowledge mixed feelings. If you know that the relationship between your friend and the person they've lost has been complicated or challenging, so acknowledge it, because grief in these situations can be less recognized, and the friend might be struggling with mixed emotions. So you can say, I know you had a complicated relationship with your dad. How are you feeling now that they are no longer here? This gives your friend the chance to express any difficult feelings they might be processing, and it may bring them comfort that, grief is not only about being sad and missing someone. It can also be frustration, anger, confusion, and much more. It's also very important to continue talking about the person after some time passes, because we may want to avoid mentioning the person because we don't want to bring up memories and make the person feel upset. But the thing is that they may want to talk about the person they lost. Actually, they will not be upset. They may feel cared and understood. For example, if you're out with your friend and they see something that reminds them of their past husband, don't shy away from that. You can say, I see how much he meant to you. I can't imagine what you've been going through. I'm here for you. You can also offer them comforting touch, a hug, or whatever feels appropriate at the moment. Also, very important to check in from time to time, even if it's been a while, and it's even more important when the time passes. You can just text something simple like, I know it's been a while. I just wanted you to know that I remember and I care for you. This will show them that you're not just there for some days after the loss, but that you're available long term. And it may help them feel cared for, even when the time passes. And while doing all that, it's very important to respect their boundaries and your own boundaries. Because everyone grieves differently, and some people need more space, some people need less. And if they don't want to talk about it, that's okay. Respect their boundaries. And you can say, I understand you don't feel like talking about it right now, but just know I'm here for you whenever you want to. Also, if you feel you don't have capacity to talk about it in the moment, you can say it openly and offer an alternative like, I'm really overwhelmed right now and I cannot be a good listener, but it's very important for me that we talk about it. I want to be here for you. What about next Tuesday? This will let them know that you're patient, you're supportive, and you will not push them to open up before they are ready, and that you also respect your own boundaries. Remember, sometimes the grieving person just needs to know that you're available. And the most important thing is to know that you don't need to have all the answers. What they need most, or what they may need most, is for you to show up, to listen, to be present, to accept them with their pain, with their feelings, and to not rush them, not to cheer them up, not to fix them, to just allow them to be there with their feelings, whatever it may be. If you talk about the loss and the person who passed away, you help keep their memories alive, and it shows them that you see them and their grief, and it helps create space for healing for them. So don't be afraid to bring it up. Share memories, check on important dates, offer your support, or just listen. Sometimes the simplest thing can mean the most. Thank you so much for watching. For more advice on what to say, what to avoid, and supportive messages example, check out my blog, my Instagram, or YouTube, and please feel free to share your experiences, your suggestions in the comments. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and continue this conversation.